I spoke to Ian Paisley this morning on the telephone and I said, well, what's your view now, Ian? And he said, well, you know, this backstop thing, whatever, will only kick in the end of 2020. So they don't quite see the urgency about it now. And I think Theresa can take her time as she explains to the European Union that actually this is their problem now, not our problem. The fact is that if Theresa wishes to govern post-March the 29th, of next year, then we need the DUP on board. And at the moment, Arlene Foster and the DUP say that as it currently stands, this is simply not good enough. And so Dominic Waghorn talked about some form of codicil, which is something that MPs were talking about last night. I was talking to a lawyer MP, and he said that something could be added on right at the end, which made it absolutely clear that we would be able unilaterally to leave the European Union at a time of our choosing. And I think that that would satisfy a lot of people, but we need to get the DUP back on board. So Theresa's got a very difficult job at hand, but so does the European Union as well. And they must recognise by the vote that took place yesterday that whilst they say they don't have room to renegotiate, Theresa May doesn't really have room to manoeuvre. And so it's back in their court.
Are you saying, though, that if Mrs May, without changing the withdrawal treaty, could actually get a document saying that, you know, the backstop wouldn't last forever, that you think that would be enough to bring the Conservative Party behind her, to back her in the meaningful vote and in the subsequent legislation?
Well, what the Prime Minister spoke about in the 22 last night was that warm words wouldn't be enough. Now, she actually said that. So warm reassurances, that doesn't wash. It has to be a legal understanding. And as far as just a legal understanding that says it's not going to last forever, that's not good enough either. We need to be far more precise about that. And also, we need the ability to be able to unilaterally leave the European Union when we want. At the moment, we can currently leave the EU when we want. But under the treaty as it currently stands, that power goes to the European Union, and only they can allow us to leave. Well, that's not good enough. So I think Theresa knows what she needs to do, and she's been in discussions with Arlene Foster yesterday. And quite frankly, it seems to me as if perhaps when Theresa goes for these negotiations, she should take Arlene with her. Because at the end of the day, whatever we decide, whatever we get through Parliament here, unless the DUP are on side with us, then we won't get any other legislation through for the rest of the year. So I think Theresa now has got this breathing space in order to allow the European Union to look very carefully at what sort of fudge that they can make in order that Theresa is able to come back here and reassure not just our party, but also the DUP as well.
I've got to put to you, Nigel Evans, that this sounds like, if I can call it such a thing, minoritarianism. I mean, last night, two-thirds of MPs in the Conservative Party backed the Prime Minister. They said they had confidence in her leadership. Yet you're saying that the minority of MPs who didn't back her and just 10 DUP should somehow boss her around.
Well, it's not. It's the reality of a situation that after that appalling general election that we had, we became a minority government, and we have to have supply and confidence from another party called the DUP. Without them, we just simply cannot govern. What yesterday did was, and Theresa said this from the steps of Downing Street, that she knew that there was a significant chunk of the party that were not with her, and she knew that what the problem was, and it's the backstop. So she needs to be able to sort that problem out. Without that, we know that there's no treaty going to get through Parliament, so she needs to sort that out. And I think she now generally has the support of the vast majority of the party. You know, we accept the verdict of yesterday that Theresa had the confidence of two-thirds of the party. Now, I believe today she has the confidence of the vast majority of the Conservative Party, apart from a very small number, for her to continue that negotiation with the European Union, and with actually, I believe, added backbone to say, listen, we need to sort out the backstop, otherwise, you know, the deal, this treaty withdrawal agreement just simply isn't going to get through Parliament.
But so what I don't understand is, given that the party has said it has confidence in the Prime Minister, why not do that? Why not have confidence in her and say, we trust her to deliver the best deal she can and we will support her? I mean, you are that type of Tory MP. You've been loyal frequently. Why don't you just say that now, that, you know, I'm with the Prime Minister rather than with the DUP or William Rees-Mogg, Jacob Rees-Mogg, or the rest of them?
Listen, you don't need to be Carol Vorderman to do the maths on this, Adam. We haven't got the votes. It's as simple as that. And Theresa knows
but
that.
you could change your mind. That's my point.
Yeah, but within Parliament, we've got to remain Parliament over my shoulder. And so Theresa has the complication of being able to negotiate not only with the European Union, but also with a Parliament that would rather the majority of us stay in the European Union. But the people decided to leave. So Theresa doesn't have to listen to Jacob Rees-Mogg or Steve Baker. She doesn't have to listen to Dominic Grieve or Anna Soubry. She has to listen to 17.4 million people. And that's what she's delivering on. She wants to deliver for what the people of Britain voted for. Then she'll get the support, I'm absolutely certain, of, I believe, the vast majority of people in Parliament to come forward with a deal that is going to satisfy the vast majority of Conservatives and also the DUP as well, in order to deliver what the people voted for. I mean, it's a difficult job. We know that, Adam. It's not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination. And the Prime Minister really faced her toughest day on the 12th of December. She's now come through that. Let's give her a breathing space in order to negotiate with the European Union. If they dig their heels in, well, quite frankly, let them dig their heels in. I still think they want to sell us those 850,000 German cars every year, a fifth of all the Prosecco they produce in Italy. They'll want to do a deal with us at some stage, so let's be a little bit...
Oh, come on, come on. You know, people have been banging on saying that for 2.5 years, and there's no evidence that either Prosecco or car sales are swelling, meaning that the European Union's going to change its position. I mean, surely that one is dead.
No, it's not dead, Adam. And by the way, just because the European Union say no, that is not then for us to just roll over. If you can have a negotiation, have a negotiation. The European Union must see the political reality of where the Prime Minister is coming from. And so, you know, they can't just keep saying no all the time. That's not a negotiation.
Well, actually, they reached an agreement with the Prime Minister that both sides recommended. That was a negotiation.
Yes, and the fact is that the Prime Minister came back. I think perhaps a misjudgment was not really holding the hands of the DUP while that negotiation was going on. Clearly, they thought that somehow or other the DUP would be OK with a border going down the Irish Sea in a number of areas in this agreement, and clearly they're not. They're not happy with it, and they are the party that keeps us in power. If we want to govern post-March the 29th, then we have to listen very carefully to what they have to say. And yesterday in Committee Room 14, the Prime Minister said she had listened and now she will act.
OK, thank you very much indeed, Nigel Evans. Well.